There's a reason that a lot of the black community doesn't have a father, and it's because of systemic racism. It's because, like, black men are more likely to be in prison.
Oh yeah, so why do people go to prison?
Good question.
For, like, a lot of the time, it's because they're in poverty and they have no other way.
In poverty, we should give excuses for committing crime?
Yes, like, if someone is stealing something because they have no money and there's no jobs.
That's so interesting. So you think most crimes are crimes of necessity in the black community?
I'm not saying most.
Something happened to black America since 1965.
You mean the war on drugs?
If that's your contention, that's fine. So in order to go to jail for the war on drugs, you have to be dealing drugs, right? Or you have to be caught with drugs. So if you don't
which is one of, like, the main jobs that you can have in a, like, poverty-stricken. Like, if there's no jobs, like, you're going to do drugs. I mean, you're going to trade drugs because that's the only option you have.
It's such a difference in worldview. I don't like making excuses for people that do things that are obviously destructive. Secondly, we have a problem in black America. The biggest problem is not racism. It's the lack of dads. If dads are around, kids flourish.
Systemic racism creates family problems. If you take away black people from their families, then they're going to have broken families.
Okay, so, but that's interesting. How are you taking them away? Aren't they leaving? You stay single as a single mother, you get money from the federal government, and it's basically subsidized, if you will.
Sure.
Can we at least agree that if the nuclear family in black America was stronger and tighter knit, that would be a good thing?
In a lot of cases, yeah.
Let's talk about the border. We have brought in 5% of the population of Haiti.
I don't see the issue with that, though. Like,
you don't see the issue with
allowing immigrants into our country. I mean, is that not the foundation of our country?
These are illegal immigrants.
Yeah, people seeking refuge for the best country in the world. Isn't that the whole point of your, like, organization? Well, the U.S. is the best country in the world. Shouldn't we be obligated to, like, help people that are suffering?
Yes, America is the best country. Therefore, its citizens should come first, not foreigners. So we have an obligation to our own people.
Yeah, so the pathway to citizenship should become easier.
No, we should deport them all back to their homeland.
We should deport them all back to their homeland.
All
the immigrants, okay.
Well,
we shouldn't
all
make it
the illegal
for
foreigners, yes. Okay. In Springfield, Ohio, in one town, English as a second language speakers in one high school went from 250 to 1,500 kids in 2 years. These communities are being overrun. Go down to Aurora, Colorado, right down the street here. Entire apartment complexes are now being run by Venezuelan gangs. Not to mention every day an American citizen is being killed. From Lake and Riley to Rachel Morin to 11-year-olds that are being killed in DUI accidents. We have a belief that our founding fathers had, which is if your government does not fulfill its obligation to its own people first, its government is not legitimate. And that's what's happening right now. Our government is now providing taxpayer-funded cell phones, hotel rooms, benefits, airplane rides, cash for foreigners, but not for Americans. If you guys as an American citizen want a free cell phone, they'll laugh at you. As a foreigner from Venezuelan, you get one on the southern border. You get a flight to any city that you want. You get a luxury hotel in New York City. You get taxpayer-funded health care. That is the inversion. That is elevating somebody from a distant land over our own people. When our own kids can't afford homes, when our own people are seeing an increase in crime, homelessness, and we have over 50,000 homeless vets in this country. It's a breakdown of the social contract.
Wait, so the government should support veterans, support citizens more? We should do, so we should spend more on our people with better health care, better social programs. That's literally what you just said.
We should spend it on veterans and not on foreigners.
Sure, and American citizens with, like, cheaper health care. That's what you just said.
Well, hold on. You're
free phones, airplane rides, public transit. That sounds great for Americans.
No, it sounds terrible, actually.
For Americans?
Yes, government should not be giving free phones to anybody, okay?
You said that the citizens should come first in those programs.
Yes, you know how they should come first? By not having to compete against a foreigner for your job.
But I don't think that's the case, though, when most, like...
How about this? If your own perspective was correct, would you feel comfortable going in an Uber right now to Aurora, Colorado, and going to those 3 apartment complexes?
I mean, according to the Aurora police, I probably would. They say the apartment complexes are not overrun.
You should get in the car and go, go talk to anybody here and go knock on the door, and they'll extort you for cash because we're a country that is open for looting right now. For the entire world, over 118 countries have entered the southern border. That we know of, at least 99 people on the terrorist watch list have come across the southern border. We're talking about people from Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, from Iran, people from Pakistan that are coming here and mean harm to the interior of the United States. Not to mention, we're breaking down what it means to be a citizen. A citizen should be put first above anybody else. If a government does not do that, then the government is not fulfilling its basic obligation. And the number one obligation is to make sure that its people can have a pathway to a better life and a good life. Not a variety of free stuff, but not have to compete with somebody from Brazil for a home. Not at
Sure.
no, but not sure. The way that we're not doing that is that we're importing the third world, and we're quickly becoming the third world.
So why don't we use our resources to improve the third world so they're not coming here rather than
Because
just spending
that's
the
not
same
the
amount of
role
money?
of the American government. You think we should be concerned about Central American politics? I don't care. I care about our own people.
So then
Secure
you don't
the border
care about
and-
those people that are sex
Hold on.
trafficking
You know why?
children.
Hold on. Of course I care about it.
You say you don't want to spend the money to make that change happen.
Number one, we've spent trillions, hundreds of billions of dollars. It doesn't do any good.
That's not true.
Number two, it is not the role of the American government to solve the problems of Panama, El Salvador, and Honduras when our own citizens are suffering and are crying out for help.
So why has the billions of dollars spent on Central American aid over the last 4 years
We shouldn't
been
have
effective
spent-
at slowing the
hasn't-
rates of sex trafficking in Central America?
It hasn't slowed anything.
No, it's been effective.
It hasn't affected anything.
It
What you're
literally
talking about
has.
is bribing these governments, where they then go give it to cartel leaders and say, "Hey, this month send 20,000 people instead of 40,000
That's
people."
not what that money's going towards. It's going towards NGOs and
No,
bottom-up stabilization.
You think NGOs
No.
spend the money correctly?
Okay, not
Man,
all
you are
NGOs,
so
obviously,
naive.
sure.
By the way, more people are crossing the Darien Gap than ever before. Not to mention, they're coming across on the CBP One app across the border into the interior of the United States in every single state. You cannot continue to have a country if you import an unfamiliar third world this quickly into America.
So
Now,
there
you'll
should
say-
be a path to
no,
immigration.
No, we should have no
and-
immigrants in this country right now.
No immigrants in the
None.
country.
We need a total, complete shutdown of immigration in this country until every single Gen Z person can afford a home and can get their act together and be able to afford the
So
American
what's
dream.
your path to Gen Z getting homes? Is it just kicking all brown people out?
Not brown people. I think
Okay,
we should.
immigrants, yeah.
We should. Anyone that's here illegally should be deported back to their country of homeland. By the way, it's a moral
So
position.
H-1B visas that like generate and
We should-
stimulate
we should-
the
we should-
economy, kick those out.
Well, that's interesting. H-1B. Who here studying computer? Anything? Anybody? Computer engineering? You guys have to compete against a foreigner for a job. That's wrong. American. Well, I actually care about the country more than the free market.
So colleges should better prepare students and better utilize government resources.
Well, college is a scam, but yes, we did that earlier.
For
But-
computer science, they shouldn't go to college.
Well, actually, you don't need to go to college for computer science.
You don't need to go to college for computer science?
You could do a coding
For-
class in a couple months.
You could
and
do a
get
coding
job.
class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alphabet is hiring right now.
You could get a job at Alphabet, Google,
Yes.
taking a C++ class?
Correct. Yes.
Yes.
They're hiring coders after a 60-day coding class. To answer your question, a country that ceases to secure its own sovereignty and does not think I care more about my own people than the foreigners ceases to be a country. You're a colony and you're something else. And we are seeing our generosity be taken advantage of. I am all for American charities going down to Panama and helping out. I'm all for people giving to charity.
So we should reallocate U.S. spending towards things that are actually effective for people in and outside of our borders.
Well,
So then we don't have
yes.
people coming into our borders and then we can help our people.
Well, no, if they come to the border and the border is closed and you say, hasta la vista,
they
go
just-
back to Nicaragua.
Or we spend in Central America, they don't have to come to the U.S.,
No,
and then we have a better
so
U.S.
th-
It's the
that-
same amount of spending.
No, first of all, to solve the problems of the third world would cost trillions of dollars, and that would all be laundered and not even work. And again, it's not the position of the American government to go throw money around in the Southern Triangle. Instead, it's our country's closed. We're not open for looting anymore. Go make Nicaragua great again, or go do what El Salvador has done. El Salvador is now a safe and stable country, and they're seeing their GDP go up, and it's not because of us.
Yeah, it is. We put $4 billion into South Central America.
Hold on. And Bukele barely took the money. You know why it's safe? Bukele has turned El Salvador safe because he locked up all the criminals. He locked up 40,000 criminals and put them in prisons, and El Salvador is now safer than America. El Salvador was the murder capital of the world, and now El Salvador is much safer than America. I think it's wrong if you guys are afraid to walk the streets of Denver at night. I wouldn't walk the streets of Denver at night. Would you guys? No! That's a breakdown of the fundamental role of government. Would you guys walk the streets of LA at night? No. The streets of San Francisco? No. We can't walk our own greatest cities at night, and we want to bring in more people from the third world? Hell no.
Well, I agree with Charlie, you understand. If you care about your country, care about your citizen, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't agree with Charlie Kirk. Because what he's saying is, whatever he says is for the better good of American, you understand, and Americans. It's very wrong for them to compete with foreigners, whereby citizens have not yet, gotten employment. I think when a country asks for more immigrants is when they have a whole lot of job opportunity, but fewer people to occupy those job opportunity. That is when they put it out there that, okay, we are opening our, giving out more visa to people. I think American did that a few years ago when they said they needed a whole lot of truck drivers. And if you're experienced in it, you can apply. I think they gave out that visa and plenty of people started applying for it because I think that was the field they needed they needed workers for. And they gave out visa for people that are qualified for that position. I think that is what country do. It's very painful that you are in a country whereby employment rate is going higher and there are a lot of people coming into the country, to reduce the few job you have. So I think that is the direction Charlie is coming from. Charlie is saying, as an American, we need to put American first. You understand? And if I'm trying not to be biased here, but what he's saying is true. You understand? It's just like you are in a family of 7. You can barely feed, and now you're giving out everything you have to total strangers simply because you want to look good in the presence of everyone. The thing is, let's call a spade a spade. He wants his country to be the best country in the world, and the best way to do that is by cutting down immigration. You understand? If you want to come into the country, he's not asking people not to come in. He's saying, come in the right way. If you come in the right way, at least they'll have record of you. You understand? A whole lot of things. I remember the day I saw a video of El Salvador where I saw a whole lot of gang member in prison and how safe the country was. I was excited, you understand? Especially, during the documentary, they were talking about how, unsafe, El Salvador was and how, the step they took to changing things, by voting for the right person. And the right leader made it his, topmost priority to lock down these hard-earned criminals. When I was seeing the video, I was like, yeah, this is the kind of president we need in Africa. You understand? Maybe not to lock down criminals. Each country have what they are facing. Like, let's say Nigeria. Nigeria is facing high crime rates, facing a whole lot of insecurity. And aside from that, we also have other African countries that are doing the same. So if you have a president that puts its citizens first, then you should be proud of yourself, because I think that is what Donald Trump is doing. He's one of the presidents I've seen that before he takes any decision, he wants to know, would this decision benefit my people? Would this decision, he's not trying to look good in the presence of, the world. He's trying to look good in the presence of the people that, vote him in to govern them. And I think that is the kind of president I would, vote for, or I would stand for every day, because he's looking after, his topmost priority is the best interest of the citizen. And I think that is good. I just love that. Anyway, but it's kind of painful though, whereby, let's say you've been working or trying to apply for visa for like, let's say 2 years, 8 months, and at the end of the day, you are being denied visa simply because the country feels like they are unable to accept more people. And sometimes it's painful because, the visa fee you pay for, the documentation you pay for and everything, you won't get refund. It's like they're all gone. And sometimes, yeah, it's painful, especially in Africa, where we spend millions of whatever currency you are using just to process your visa, and you end up being denied, maybe because of one mistake. It's kind of painful, you understand? But the best thing is, the more they have high deportation rates in America, the more people trying to get to America do their best to fix their country. You understand? Because let's say I'm from Nigeria. If Nigeria is great like El Salvador, I don't see any reason why people would want to travel out, to any country in the world. Yeah, I know we like exploring, we like partying and stuff, but that is it. We just party, go for vacation and come back home, because there is no place like home. No matter how you love a country, there is no one that will treat you better than your home country. So let's try our best. I know we are looking for greener pasture, but the best thing is to fix our roots. Let's fix our home. That is where majority of our family reside. So if that place is messed up, they will keep on calling us to send money back home. But if our country is great, I don't think we'll be looking for visa, to travel out. Anyway, this is beautiful. I want to see more videos like this. If you have any recommendation, let me know in the comment section. If it's the first time visiting the channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and remember this.